michaelsavage.com. We have a fascist dictatorship brewing in America. You say that's crazy? I say you're crazy. They are spying on Americans with emails. That is clear. They are trying to curtail conservatives in the broadcast media because we have succeeded based upon our opinions and our talents. And just as they're trying to shut down the town halls, as Michael Savage is sitting here before this microphone and you're receiving it on your radio, the vermin in the FCC put in by the communist Obama are trying to close down conservatives in the media under the guise of diversity. The new chief of diversity in the FCC, a man named Mark Lloyd, the so-called chief diversity officer, which is a code word for the new KGB, has called on private radio broadcasters to pay a sum equal to their total operating costs in order to fund the vermin in public broadcasting. They want PBS to be funded by private broadcasters. This piece of garbage, Mark Lloyd, who is a failure from the top to the bottom, wants the vermin in public broadcasting off the radio, and that so-called diversity of ownership would increase diversity of broadcasting voices. No, my friend, the reason liberals were driven off the radio is because nobody wanted to listen to their drivel. They can read their garbage in the newspapers. They can listen to their garbage on the networks. The only corner of the media left where there is freedom of speech can be found only on the conservative broadcasts in the United States of America. And this communist vermin, Mark Lloyd, wants this ended. He's going to put you out of business. He's going to put me out of business. He thinks. He wants new programming, so-called diverse programming, that will cover daily news. That means anything fed to the stooge in front of the microphone by him. Public issues programming. That means anything given to the stooge in front of the microphone by the Axelrod machine. Quote, in addition, educational programs for children and adults. And diverse, independent, personal, and cultural expression will be encouraged, wrote this neo-Nazi. Now, this is what's going on in the United States of America. We have been taken over by a group of hardcore liberal fascists. They are spying on Americans. They're closing down town hall meetings. They're smearing anybody who stands up to them. They're putting their minions in Nazi uniforms in order to smear them, a Saul Alinsky trick learned from the Bolsheviks. A very few people in the media are standing up to them. One of them is Major Garrett. God bless him. My suspicion is he will soon be barred from the White House press office because he's not sufficiently supine. He will probably have to repudiate his views in order to be readmitted into the distinguished company of the other sycophants in that room. Now, I got to tell you something. If my show ended tomorrow, I will have had a great life in broadcasting. You say, well, all right, things happen. Communists take over countries and they destroy them. Sometimes those communists are found out and thrown out. Sometimes they're not found out and thrown out. Things get progressively worse. Look at Cuba, a prison state loved only by the Hollywood elite. Look at North Korea, where 1 million people were starved to death in slave labor camps, loved only by Madeleine Albright and Hillary Clinton. Look at the other communist dictatorships on the planet and tell me, is that where you want to live? Because that's where you're going to live. You're going to live there as sure as I'm standing here because they're taking away every brick of freedom in this country, one brick at a time. And they're being found out, and they're being called out on it, not by everyone, by any means, but by a few brave souls in the midstream media who get near them, by the few brave old people who dare to speak out at town hall meetings, which are now closing down. Ladies and gentlemen, this country's balance hangs like a loose tooth. I'll be right back.
Savage.